Hey guys, what's up? How are you doing? And welcome to another battle on Third Age Total War Reforged. And today, what I have for you is a battle between Gondor and Erebor, a small force of Erebor that has been corrupted by the Lord Sauron, of course. But let's go through the army comps first of all. So for me, playing as Gondor, just putting up a desperate stand on the outposts, on the outskirts of Gondor. So today I have brought 5 units of Gondor infantry, I want to say. Yep, 5. So 4 on the front line and 1 just there. They're a pretty strong unit, focused mostly on their defense. I forgot to do the armor upgrade on these guys. Yep. So I forgot to do the armor upgrade on all these. That might have been the difference between victory and defeat. Of course. It could. But pretty good sword and board infantry. Very good at holding. And because of their numbers, they'll last quite a while. But they are prone to routing, of course. And you can see my line just goes up onto this hill. And that does look pretty sick. Right, you can just see the whole host of Gondor, and then you see that small force that's just up there. But mixed in with these, I have 2 units of Guards of Osgiliath. Very good pikes, heavily armoured. As you can tell from the chainmail, I think they're about 15 armour. But against crossbows, armour isn't that important, of course. But they'll still hold a while, and they will help my Gondor infantry to survive. Also, in the centre, I have 2 units of Fountain Guard. Kinda like halberds, but they don't look like halberds. They're like long spears, I think, but armour-piercing long spears. So my longer phalanx, it isn't armor-piercing, and then a shorter phalanx, it is. 123, extremely elite, very good attack. But they suffer the spear malice, 123 of them in a unit. Very good armor value as well. And again, these Gods of Osgiliath, very good as well. Now I also have 2 units of Gondor archers, just to lay down some suppressing fire against the advancing dwarves. 2 units of them, but relatively elite. I forgot to put the armor upgrade on these as well. They'll still hold out for quite a while, of course. And they're pretty good archers as well. They're better archers than stuff like Snarger archers and that. I reckon they're on the same kind of level as stuff like Elvelyn marksmen and like that middle tier of archers. Of course, marksmen of Caer Andros are on the upper tier of archers, as you should expect. Extremely elite, great swords in melee, very good arm value. I think there's some like 17 or something, maybe 16. They have missile of some like 10. As they're great swords, they have pretty good melee defense, and they also have an attack score of about 13, 14, I think it is, maybe 16. Between 13 and 16, I think. And of course, another bread and butter bit of any Gondorian army is the Gondor Spearmen. They suffer from the spear malice, but they'll last an age, just because of that shield. You can put them in shield wall. You can do a lot of stuff with these guys, and they're great for holding. And stuff like Dwarven Miners won't be as useful against them as they ordinarily would be, after all they are armor piercing. But of course need that more elite side. That's why I brought the Fountain Guard, marksmen of Caer Andros, and of course the Raven Helms of Caer Andros. Swordmaster unit, like 20 attack, 19 or something shield value. Pretty good melee defense. Not shield, arm value. Very good melee defense. Very good attack. And extremely elite. They'll last a long time and dish out a lot of damage. Now, like WK, I've adopted the strategy of putting my general in the trashiest unit I can find. At least I think that's what I did this battle. Oh no, I put my general in a unit of Gondor infantry. That's disaster. That could be disastrous if I don't get them back in time. But Gondor militia infantry, just because I had about 450 foreigners left, and that's what they cost. And 2 units of Axemen of Lasarnak. No, 3 units of Axemen of Lasarnak even. AP, so they'll do a lot of damage against the Ironfoots, of course. But that's the only time I'm really going to want to commit them against the Ironfoots. Just because there's no point in putting the AP in against Dwarven Miners, because they have a bit of a trashy armour value. And of course, Gondor militia infantry, pretty trash. Like, their stats are 3 lower each than Gondor infantry without any upgrades, I think. But still, they're decent. They'll and because of their huge amount of numbers, they'll last a little while. And to be honest, they look pretty cool. Like the Axemen. I like the Axemen's beards, to be honest. It reminds me of the Bjornings from Vanilla Third Age. A bit. But now it is time to move on to Sam's army. Now, of course, I can take a bit of time on these army comps, because it's not like it's 2v3 or 2v4, or 3v4 or 3v5 or anything. But he has 2 units of Dwarven Miners, AP, line infantry. They can get shredded by arrows easily, but they'll also do a lot of damage, of course, against Gondor, since they are kind of reliant on their armour. But they'll also, the downside to bringing them, pretty low morale, and they all get shredded pretty easily. Just behind these, he has 3 units of Ironfoot pikes. Yep, 3 units of them. Pretty elite pikes, and they all last quite a while. Of course, don't worry, I don't have COVID.
Don't worry, Mum.
And they'll last a while, but they suffer the spear malice, so they don't do much damage. Ironfoot spears, again, I think they do slightly more damage than the pikes, but they don't have that reach, and they have a better arm value due to that shield. So stand up to missiles a lot better. And now, another big bit of his army is his Ironfoot warriors. 4 units of them. Pretty strong, really. They have that axe, of course. That trademark non-Ironfoot look. Alright, he has some troops over there as well. Can't forget those. But they'll last quite a while, but against an army that uses quite a bit of AP, that may or may not be useful. That's why I chose the army, just because I knew I was going up against Erebor, so I need AP. Really. Sons of Durin, with Dane himself in that unit. Bodyguards here, 2 hit points. Hammer guards, so they're AP. Pretty good armor as well. Like an attack of 17, 18, but a weaker defense since they are hammers. And there's 68 of them in this unit. And as we go over here, we see another small detachment of Sam's forces. Again, Sam's a good friend of mine. And he has 2 units of Ironfoot wargoats, which is just brilliant for me, of course, because I don't want to worry about the wargoats really.
No.
because it's just another thorn in the
Of course
backside.
she wants me to come.
But-
no, motion.
He has a unit of Iron Foot crossbows and a unit of Blacklock engineers. So one slightly lower tier and one higher tier. And Blacklock engineers have, like, they can send guys flying, I think. And they're AP because they're crossbows, Iron Foot crossbows, AP, shield on their back, pull out axes in melee. As do, but the Blacklock engineers, they pull out maces and they're AP. I don't think the crossbows are AP in melee. No, they're not. But he has mercenary guildsmen, of course. Decent line infantry. Not as vulnerable to missiles as the Dwarven miners, but they have a weaker morale due to them being mercenaries. And they have that buckler and mace, so they're AP, of course. And they have the buckler, so they're slightly more resistant to arrow fire. But without further ado, let's begin this. And we start with me realising that I have a unit of Gondor infantry all the way out here. Which is just brilliant for me, really, because I really need to worry about that sort of thing, don't I? Move! Get out of there. There we go. Now I move them and you can see the unit commander sending them up. But the good thing is, he's sending up his pikes first. Which is fortunate, extremely fortunate for me. Because it means that I don't have to really worry about them. And now he's setting up his spears behind and miners behind as well, but in front of the spears. Iron Foot warriors are also moving up, and he's moving over his crossbows and all that. But he is trying to maybe catch my pikemen unawares. Not pikes. General's bodyguard, aka the Gondor infantry, unawares. But he's not going to catch them. And you can tell that he realises this because soon he just calls them off. And sends them to walk in, I think. That's what he does. But of course, this is going to have a little bit of a skirmish at first. But you know what? I might just make a cut for a minute or two. Actually, no. Because I start the skirmish, don't I? I just move up my archers, thinking to get it one or two sneaky volleys off before he manages to get his soldiers in, just because I might as well, really. And my archers are starting to fire, getting a few kills here and there. Well, actually, I don't think we got very many kills with that. You know, that's what I'm going after. I'm going after those dwarven miners. Already managed to take out a good 100, 200 of them. No, not 100, 200. I already managed to take out 20 of that unit. And 4 of that unit. So I've got about 24 kills on them so far. But of course now, he's finally getting his crossbows set up. But I've still managed to get a good amount of kills on him. This unit of dwarven miners is down to 121 men. So I got a good 57 kills. 61 kills so far. You can see I've killed 4% of his army and he hasn't killed any of mine. So far it's going relatively well. And I'm also targeting his pikes, of course. Why wouldn't I? Got a good few kills on him. And I'm still sending a few arrows into these, but I'm not getting as many kills now that they're in loose formation. But to be completely honest, any kills that I can get on pikemen are really going to help. And now that he's moving, you can actually tell that you're going to get a better shot off on them. Like, I'm only dropping a few of them a volley, right? And there's 90 more of these, so I'm dropping a lot more of them than they are of me. But now I decide that it's time to move my archers back. And then he gets his... Where are his crossbows? There they are. He's getting his crossbows into position as well. What I'd do if I was Sam is just go ham on one portion of the line. And you can see that he's probably going to do this. He's got his dwarven miners, like, in this area. So it's looking like they're going to focus on this unit. And now you can see me moving on my axemen. I think I saved them just for, like, the iron foot, so I might not have. But crossbows, they're ready to fire. The Blacklock engineers are getting up, getting a nice angle. Right, this actually looks pretty. You have to admit that looks awesome. Like, looking from the viewpoint of this Blacklock engineers. What a shot! That's so cinematic. I'm not gonna lie. Wait. Game options. Nope. Is it graphics? Yeah, just gonna turn it down a little. But he has dwarven miners, they're moving in. And I have my raven helms and axemen ready just behind to receive them. These guys, you can see they're just dropping like flies. What? The first unit's down to 77, and the second unit's down to 163. But now that they're in, they're actually gonna lose quite a few men before that pike formation gets in. I mean, I'm still focusing down on pikes. So what kind of window with them? I'm also sending a few bodies into the Blacklock engineers and the ironfoot crossbows. But the front line's looking pretty good right now. We've got a few Gondor infantrymen just out front, but they're mostly being protected by the phalanx of the pikes. Now I charge in my axemen. So kind of getting focused down a bit by those crossbows. And now I feel that I don't mean to do this. But in the end, I just send up the Sonic. Just for their protection. I mean, it's looking, my situation's looking pretty dire in the centre. And on this flank, we're looking a bit thin as well. But I have my Raven helpers there. So things do get like really, really worrying. I can charge them in. I mean, these guys, I sent forward these 100 axemen just because I thought, well, if we can stop those spearmen getting up, then actually, like, stopped a bit of the worry, like, we've stopped a bit of reason to be worried. I mean, I shouldn't be going after these crossbows. So, I mean, any good crossbows won't really be deterred. But, I mean, this line isn't looking too good. So I'm moving over my Gondor militia infantry. I've had to charge with the Gondor archers somewhere. But route off those spears and pikes. That's pretty important. Because now, you've routed off these spearmen as well. So I mean, it's looking pretty good down the centre. And fighting's non-existent on the right. But this is what I really... Oh yeah, I didn't want this to happen. So I wanted was for these guys to get out the way and charge in the outside flank, I think. Wait, no, I just retreated because that cav. I don't want a hole to be punched in my line anyway. But my forces are looking a bit weak, so now I charge in the Raven helms. And this may start to look slightly different. But over here we slaughtered quite a few spears. And now, somehow, saying victory seems certain with those pikes. You can see where they're really trying to control. And where they're failing. And I send out my archers to like hold that charge. But they get destroyed. That's the only way to really say it. But the actual reason that I sent them out was to charge into these pikes. Those wargoats are a real pain. And now I have some Gondor spearmen. My 80 axemen for Sarnak. And another... I don't have many soldiers left. And these spearmen raise charger. I just need to. This is where to To be honest, this is where it's finished. And in turn, that's the exact place where I am moving in my axe. And he also has a unit of 5-foot crossbows, a unit of 5-foot pikes, and the Sons of Durin. That do actually look pretty sick, to be honest. Like, look at that. They're lovely, trimmed and feathered, kind of like tied up beards. See, they take pride in their beards. Of course, I'm just moving back my Gondor infantry because they're needed elsewhere, really. As you can just see, we have been ripped apart here. So I just have to shift the course. But these iron-foot war goats are being constant pain. Now that I'm slightly thinking this area. Now there's a whole other area. I mean, over here is not looking too bad. They still have 105 mercenary goals right now. And now what I'm really trying to do is, now that they've stuffed their Blackrock engineers in, I need to just patch it up somehow. But Ironfoot warriors are getting behind the pikes, which is just perfect. There's just a few pesky soldiers that are stopping me from, like, winning, in a sense. I mean, once these soldiers get it and patch up the line, that's when stuff is going to get a whole lot better. For me, to be honest. So once I've patched up a line, an area of my line, then I can, like, I got all of these guys that should be going like that. And finally I move a unit to a better position so that I to do something. And that something is help patch this up. Yeah, as you can see, they've managed to punch once more another hole. I just need way more men. But I'm just trying to take out these Ironfoot warriors once and for all. And I managed to take out a good amount. And they're sandwiched in between two units of spears. So their days are numbered. Their days are very numbered. Now move the member stuff. Wait, no, this is where I like call. No, I don't call a retreat. patch up this hole only for this to be opened up, which is just brilliant. So eventually I just decide, you know what, I need to get my men over. It doesn't help that he has no pikes coming in to just help destroy me here, pretty much. But in come the Sons of Durin. And of course at that moment I knocked Carangelo's route. And I realised that my mountain guard are facing the wrong way. Now that they're the right way, they're gonna start eating up these crossbows. Which, to be honest, what we need is to win somewhere. And this is not that place. But in come the Gondor spears. I don't like the way they run. I don't want them to go in. But so far the line's holding, apart from here, where they inevitably rout off. So yeah, it's at this point that I decide to call the retreat. At the point my general dies, I'm like, you know what, nah. We need to get out of here. And at the end, and I'm leaving my Gondor spearmen here to kind of die off and act as like a kind of small fortress to stay back, really. Of course, now that he doesn't have any more missiles, the good thing is that I can basically just kind of hold up with my remaining 243 men. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, because it isn't. And I could have even less than that. But I got my guards of Ascilia just forming a nice little group up here. Like, when you go here, nothing can, or even, that's probably the best position to hold. But I hold here, so yeah, it's as good a position as any. I'm just praying that they're going to form up fast enough. Because of my luck today, guess what? Oh, actually they're you. And you can see that beautiful phalanx. Well, actually it's called spear wall formation, but I have that one guy, one fountain guard soldier that's like, well, I'm just gonna stay here, I don't mind. I mean, that does look pretty sick, to be fair. Like, you have all of these phalanx. Like, you have this really, really cool looking spear wall. Just to look at that. And for some reason I decided to march down. And then go back up. And at this exact moment, he chooses to attack. But so far, it's looking so far so good, right? Yeah, well, the slight problem is we have some iron foot soldiers in the middle of it. And if you just have a nice little look, most of the dead bodies here are Gondorians. And if we have 90% of my army is killed, 58% of Sam's army is. So it didn't work as well as I thought it would. But, so far so good. We're still holding. But, I need to get my fountain garden. That's the only way that I'm actually going to win. So I have 230 men. I mean, I do, like, take out quite a few of them. After all, I do have AP fountain garden there. And I have a nice phalanx formation. But Sam also has a phalanx. And he has an even bigger phalanx now. Let's just stay here. The fall of the Gondorians. I mean, this is actually really interesting, it's a shot. Right here. As we just see Ereborian, I guess that's what we call it. The hordes of Erebor come out and charge into our front line, which does look pretty sick. And now the Mountain Guard is in front of the Guards with Skillet, which is what I wanted the whole time. So I wanted the short phalanx in front of them and the long phalanx behind. So I mean that their phalanx would not be able to reach. But defeatedly, the balance of forces is evenly matched. But with certainly closing the gap. But I wouldn't necessarily call it winning. And if we go into like a nice big map, you can see just see like one set is pretty and just look at this formation. Like, we got a bit of an arc going on here. So we're containing them. And we're actually, for every 1% we're doing. And our defeat seems certain, which is not what I would have expected. So, it's looking pretty good for me. Sorry about the dogs. At my hands right now and we have a visitor. And they always bark when we have visitors, so it's alright. But this is huge. I mean, But now the tide has changed, and I think it's because they haven't cooked the whole over here. Let's have a look at this spot. So you can see, oh come on, you can't double team him. This ain't much fair. Ooh. That's gonna leave a mark. And he's probably gonna die at the end of the day, so he's actually doing a lot better than I would have thought. Now they managed to get through my flank. Or at least on this side. And they're really pushing. And I still got far. Oh my god. This guy's lost in a while. He's taking his time to die. It's probably because that guy's missing all the time. It's just going from one side to the other. We're at 95 and 69, so this isn't that close, to be honest. Why are you not hitting him? You need to hit the guy. But here, my fountain guard has routed. And so has my gods of Austria. But actually, yep, that's what. Yeah. We've all routed. We are running into the hills. And now then, so this was actually a really fun battle to play in. And let's have a look at my kills. So Gondor infantry. Decent kills, but not very good. But we weren't going up against very many. If you have a look, you only had... Okay, well I didn't kill very many. They took a lot of casualties. Gondor spearmen, they're doing better than some like infantry. And they suffered the spearmen, so that's not too good. As for the Sarnak, not very good. Guys with Skilly, decent and very good. Very good, not very good. Pretty good, not too good. Pretty good. Very good. Pretty good. Decent. So I got quite a few kills on him. He only had 800 men left. And, well, it was pretty good. No, it went pretty good. He had 700 men left. So he had a third of his force. But thank you very